bleeding from the ears and nose, and abrasion on the right forearm. As trained first aiders, treat and load into the ambulance.
Stop, let me go and inspect the place. First aiders, I have to help you. Can we help you?
Sir, is the bandaging too tight? Is it okay?
You found a casualty in his garage, filled with vehicle exhaust fumes, with the following features upon assessment: headache, confusion, and nausea. Demonstrate the appropriate first aid treatment for this condition, but do not transport. During the vacation period, your younger brother who visited you at the mine camp began experiencing increasing pain and soreness at the site of a wound. The area appeared swollen, red, and warm to touch. He also developed hot flash skin, sweating, and headache. He later mentioned that he had sustained grazes in the same area a few days earlier during school games. Demonstrate the appropriate first aid treatment for this condition, but do not transport, noting that the scene is safe.
Hello, please, my name is Ernestina. With my colleague, Newmont, I have first aiders. That's why we have rescued you from the
During the mid-term break, a child visiting the father at the mines camp suffered a severe accident at the pool area. While he was attempting to swim, the child slipped and hit the head at the edge of the pool and then fell into the water. Following a swift rescue by the pool attendant, the child was found lying on the floor with the following injuries: discharge of fluid from the ears, which is blood-stained, with contusion on the side of the head, deformed right ankle. The skin looks pale and cold to touch. Demonstrate the appropriate first aid treatment for these conditions and load into the ambulance.
And he's barricading the area, Captain.
So we are giving just CPR, chest compression, and 2 rescue breaths, aiming at 120 chest compressions per minute.
Unfortunately, this child is being treated as an adult. And for an adult, if you're using 2 hands to do the chest compression, you're likely going to be breaking more ribs and you're likely to cause further harm. Unfortunately, I am residents, and to control members of the crowd who were behaving aggressively, the police deployed CS spray. The spray affected one individual, causing a burning sensation, eye-watering, sneezing, and a runny nose. While experiencing blurred vision and discomfort, he stepped into a gutter with his right foot and sustained open fracture of the right ankle. There is pain and tenderness at the bony area of the ankle, and the young man is in pain, experiencing difficulty breathing, wheezing, anxiety, distress, and difficulty speaking, leading to short sentences. As community first responders or first aiders, demonstrate the appropriate first aid treatment for this condition and transport the casualty or the victim to the community clinic. A motorcycle rider carrying a female passenger within your community veered off the road while attempting to avoid a collision with a bus. In the process, there is an excruciating pain in the groin area with closed fracture of the left lower leg. She also has laceration wound on the right hip. As community first aiders at the scene, give treatment and load into the ambulance.
Hello, I'm trying to my my legs because okay.
A carpenter sustains injuries after rushing attacks. Upon slipping, he stepped on a protruding nail, pierced through the right foot and is embedded in both ends. The casualty awkwardly twisted his right lower leg and fractured it. He sustains deformity of the left knee, which is swollen, and abrasion on the forehead. As the community first aiders, demonstrate the appropriate first aid treatment for these injuries and transport to the community clinic.
Okay. Vesta, last time mama. Okay. All of someone down the Yamasia Baba, make account. Yamasia Baba. We take a make a double fire.
A heavy downpour occurred in your community, causing rivers and ponds to overflow, creating localized downwash at a Galamsey site. A man in his late 20s was swept away by the turbulent water. His friends intervened and managed to rescue him by dragging him along the edge of the trench against the strong current. The casualty is now lying with a deformed shoulder, a deep laceration on the side of his forehead with a flap of the skin displaced, neck pain, and blood-stained leakage from the ear. As the community first aiders demonstrate the appropriate first aid treatment for these conditions and transport to the community clinic. After a light rain, the highly anticipated Easter Games final football match began, drawing a packed stadium. During the intense game, a player slipped at the touchline and sustained severe injuries. So here are the injuries: open fracture of the right thigh, dislocated and swollen joints of the fingers, wrist of the right hand, black left eye, and abrasion of the left forearm. The player is lying down in pain with shallow breathing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time we train our people, we train them for training sake. But a lot I've seen here today is we have been able to train them, evaluate them to know. I am urging each and every one to provide this quota. We all need to talk, and at the end of the day, the dividend, it's not like bank issue. If it is financial, then you say money. The dividend I'm referring here is the sources that we are going to chalk will be divided for us. And each and every one will go home with sources, but not with money. It is sources.
We're gathered here today to celebrate safety, preparedness, the importance of first aid skills, and collective responsibility for our safety and well-being. First aid is more than just a response to emergencies. It is about saving lives, preventing further harm, and providing comfort in critical moments. Well done to all participants, and let's celebrate the power of safety. May we honor that commitment not only through competition, but in our everyday decisions. Long live our dear motherland, Ghana.
Our theme for this year is every moment is an ambush. Think safety at all times. This is not just a slogan. It should be a way of life for all of us. It reminds us that danger does not announce its arrival. This competition in particular is a demonstration of the life-saving first aid techniques that can meet the difference between life and death in real emergencies. Let us all remember that every moment is an ambush. Always think safety. Let us renew our commitment to a safe mining environment where every worker returns home safely. Thank you all very much, and may this competition inspire a deeper culture of safety in us all. Thank you very much.
At the end of the practical session, the results of the mine teams of the Zone 2 edition were as follows. Golden Star Wassa Limited, 57 points. The Zijin Golden Ridge Limited, 53 points. Adamus Resources, 56 points. Abosso Goldfields Limited, 49 points. Newmont Ahafo North Mine, 17.5 points. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, while the practical session was ongoing, we had also selected students from the mining communities to participate in an essay competition. Now, their scripts were subsequently marked. Based on the results, we would proceed to present the prizes to the contestants, starting from the 10th position to the 1st, as we normally. Sophia J. to do as the honor. Thank you very much. And Mr. Kofi J now takes the floor for the presentation of the prizes. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall welcome Fidora Echampondankwa. She came 10th in this competition at Padun DA Model School. Zijin Golden Ridge at Chimbine to do the sponsoring. 1 branded school bag, 9 branded exercise books, hardcover, 1 dictionary, Oxford, and 3 pens. Welcome. Another applause for them. Of Biniwa and then Fi Barbara from Yamfo Methodist AJHS. Newmont Ahafo North Mine sponsored this one. She came 9th in this competition. She takes away 1 branded school bag, 9 branded exercise books, hardcover, 1 dictionary, Oxford, and 3 pens. Round of applause. And 3 pens. Ladies and gentlemen, we descend to Menu Redua Mary. She has come from Gosomchi Preparatory School. The sponsoring mine is Abosso Goldfields Limited. She came 8th, 1 branded school bag, 9 branded exercise books, hardcover, 1 dictionary, Oxford, and 3 pens. Thank you very much. Again, Calvin Owusuamwa from Nana Amwakwa Model Basic School, Abosso Goldfields Limited, sponsored, 7th position, 1 branded school bag, 9 branded exercise books, hardcover, 1 dictionary, Oxford, and 3 pens. Welcome. Thank you. Audrey Abigail, Yamfu Roman Catholic BJHS, Newmont Ahafo North Mine sponsored this deal. 1 branded school bag, 9 branded exercise books, hardcover, 1 dictionary, Oxford, and 3 pens. Thank you very much. Kotoka Salasi Sarah came 5th in this competition from New Abraham DA Islamic Model School. Zijin Golden Regachim Mine sponsored. 1 branded school bag, 9 branded exercise book hardcover, 1 dictionary, Oxford, and 3 pens. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause again. Penny Yena, blessing. I'm told she's not here, but she came from St. Leo Catholic Basic School. Golden Star Wassa Limited sponsored this deal, and she takes away the same things, 1 branded school bag, 9 branded exercise books, hardcover, 1 dictionary, Oxford, 3 pens. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Kofi Clifford. Kofi Clifford. Naniba Model Junior High School, Adamus Resources Limited, sponsored. 3rd position, 1 branded school bag, 10 branded exercise books, hardcover, 1 dictionary, Oxford, and 3 pens. Round of applause. Thank you. Now we're getting close to the apogee. Judith Aponsobin came 2nd in this competition. Atieko Methodist Bakery School, Golden Star Wassa Limited has sponsored. HP 250 G8 Celeron, N4 T20 4GB, 500 GB, 15.4, 1 branded school bag, 10 branded exercise books, hardcover, 1 dictionary, Oxford, and 3 pens. Round of applause for this wonderful lady and, ladies and gentlemen, the most competent prize. This is the ultimate. This is the height of the totality of the achievement by these students. Ladies and gentlemen, Emmanuel Edu from Kikam LGA, Adamus Resources Limited. He is privileged, ladies and gentlemen, the Novo I3, ID Part 3, 4/1, 2B, 15 IM 106, 81 WB tank, 1 branded school bag, 15 branded exercise books, hardcover, 1 dictionary, Oxford, 3 pens. Welcome. Welcome the privilege, Emmanuel Edu. We are thankful, ladies and gentlemen. Emmanuel Edu. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we would move to a concentration of the oral part of the competition. But before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, we need to inform you that there are very dignified persons who are present here in our midst. I have an obligation to make a declaration of these names, ladies and gentlemen. Engineer Dr. Kenneth Achigbe is the Chief Executive Officer, Ghana Chamber of Mines. Thank you very much. Mr. Richard Kofi J, Chief Inspector of Mines, Minerals Commission. Mr. Desmond White, Deputy Chief Inspector of Mines, Explosives and Technical Minerals Commission. Mr. Ampofu Kwebi, Senior Assistant Chief Inspector of Mines, Minerals Commission. Mr. Philip Thompson, Security, Health, Safety, Environment and Social Governance Manager, Adamus Resources Limited. Mr. Francois Sumenisasi, Process Superintendent, Adamus Resources Limited. Mr. James Sherman, Safety, Health and Environment Manager, Golden Star Wassa Limited. Mr. Samuel Sefas Amu, Abosso Goldfields Limited, Safety Coordinator. Ms. Nelly Boy, Lead, Health and Safety, Newmont, Ahafo, not mine. Mr. Harry Healy, Zijin, Golden Bridge Limited. But he's the Vice President. Mr. Collins Edu Poku Resource, Edu Poku Process Manager, Zijin Golden Bridge Limited. Ms. Laurencia Wahima Wa, Manager, Human Resources and Operations, Ghana Chamber of Mines. Mrs. Akua Ejewa Brentuo Amu, Health and Safety Manager, Zijin Golden Bridge Limited. So, apart from these assembly, dignified assembly of personality, we have another dignified assembly of persons here. And these are the people who were in charge of the planning of the whole engagement here. The Central Planning Committee. Gentlemen, welcome. At the head, Nana Ando, Deputy Chairman. Irene Abuaji Akari, member. Abdul Razak Nu, member. Samuel Ansa is a member. Samuel Kojo Ansa is a member. Albert Amekuji is a member. Alfred Abeka is a member, but last but not least, Chrysler Enima Usu, Secretary. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on a very solemn note, before we proceed to the conduct of proceedings on the oral sector of this whole engagement, ladies and gentlemen, I would implore all of you to help us hold a 1 minute silence for the fallen heroes in the tragic helicopter crash that occurred last week. Ladies and gentlemen, a minute silence. May the soul of these gigantic heroes rest in absolute peace. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And now the competition for the oral session will begin. But before it begins, I think that I have a duty to ask the contestants in the first place to make an introduction of themselves before the quizmaster proceeds, to issue guidelines, for the conduct of proceedings. The contestants.
Benedict Poon. Ebenezer Mensah. Golden Star. Wassa Limited.
Grace Kabuki Kubi. Patience Gatogo. They're from Zijin, Golden Ridge.
Daniel Saki.
Mavis Nkrumah from Adamus Resources Limited.
Gideon Kwashi.
Nana Kudra Mwafu.
Abosso Goldfields Limited.
Ejabia Asiedu.
Anwar Al-Hassan. Newmont
North Carolina.
You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to what you do. Welcome to the Command First Aid and Safety Competition 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, now in this competition, we're guided by rules. You understand? It is not a chaotic assignment. There are rules and regulations that guide the conduct of the proceedings here. Now, normally, you would be entitled, in fact, you're entitled to answer a question for 3 points. Now, this is a departure from the mainstream what do you know competition, where we have major questions and holy grails for minor questions and so on and so forth. In this particular column of the activity, you are entitled to answer the same number of questions. Yeah, it's equity in the distribution of the questions here. But you have an obligation to answer these questions within 10 seconds and no more. Now, when you deliver an answer to a question outside the bounds, now you have the opportunity, in as much as you sit in pairs, you understand, it's a symbiotic engagement. Both of you have the right, to put your heads together in delivering the answer to the Quizmaster's question. Both of you cannot chaotically, at the same time, deliver an answer to the Quizmaster's question. Only one of your number, after the collaboration and the discussion of what answer to put forward to the question propounded by the Quizmaster. You understand? So if you understand this column of things, and then furthermore, in my capacity as Quizmaster, I reserve a certain very important prerogative. That prerogative is to award less than the maximum number of 3 points available to you, depending upon my judgment, as it were, of the integrity, of the righteousness, of the propriety, as it were, of the answers that we give it. I reduce the number of points, whether to 2 points or to 1 point, depending, as I said, to my thinking of the propriety of the answer. If you are set for this one, it's action stations, round 1, question 1. And is it Golden Star Wassa? Golden Star Wassa, the government of Ghana initiated the regularization of small scale and mining business in 1989 with the promulgation of the Small Scale and Mining Law, PNDC Law 218. Now, the law was repealed and integrated into the new Minerals and Mining Act of 2006, Act 703. Sections 88 to 89 deal with small-scale mining. Now, Regulation 470, Sub-Regulation 1 of the Minerals and Mining Health, Safety and Technical Regulation 2012, LI 2182 provides for competency of small-scale mining. Now, who qualifies to be granted a license to operate a small-scale mining? Who qualifies?
Person may be granted a license to operate small-scale mining operations if that person has the proven knowledge required to operate small-scale mining operation, or appoint another person who has the required knowledge to be in charge of small-scale mining operations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The person must have proven knowledge required for small-scale mining. Otherwise, a person appointed by another person who has that proven knowledge to be in charge of small-scale mining operation. For 3 points, Zijin. Zijin. Now, operating 748 of the Minerals and Mining Regulations 2012 LI 2182 says, in part, a person working in a small-scale surface mine shall not cut or permit to be cut a face or a sidewall in the mine, and the holder of the mining license in relation to that mine shall ensure that any surface, any face or sidewall in that mine does not have, and goes on. Declare the limitation of the scope of the face or sidewall in this regard.
Unless the working face has been terraced, sloped, or reduced to an angle which does not expose persons working in the mine to hazard.
2 out of 3. there's another sector of this question. Answer. Of course, the side wall is terraced, sloped, or supported at an angle which would ensure the safety of the persons working in the mine. That's correct. But it should not have a height of more than 1.5 meters. You understand? Unless the face of slope is terraced and so on. That angle of the answer was not delivered. So 2 out of 3. Adamus. Now, according to Regulation 481 of the Minerals and Mining Regulations, Safety, Health and Technical Regulations 2012 LI 2182, the holder of a small-scale mining license shall rehabilitate and revegetate land which is no longer used for mining within 1 month after termination of activities on the land. What else should the holder ensure in this regard? Now, that is the thing I must say. The repetition by the question master is also prohibited. You must listen with the cocked ear. Because that's why I take time to enunciate. So if you don't listen, then that is your own opinion. Listen, according to Regulation 480 of the Minerals and Mining Regulations, LI 20, the holder of a small-scale mining license shall rehabilitate and revegetate land which is no longer used for mining within 1 month after termination of activities on the land. What else should the holder ensure in this regard? Now you're fair. Adamus out. Adamus out. But don't worry, this is not the end of the world. Don't worry. He shall ensure that within 1 month after the abandonment of the mine, he will backfill disused trenches, excavations, and pits in a manner that would prevent the accumulation of water. Your turn. Is it Abosso? Abosso, listen. When it comes to offenses against condition of employment provisions as captured under Regulation 5131 of the Minerals and Mining Regulations 2012 LI 2182, a holder of any certificate issued under these regulations who acts negligently or in a manner which results or is likely to result in the injury of a person employed in or about a mine commits an offense, pronounce the penalty. Abosso.
So the holder is liable on summary conviction to a fine of imprisonment of not more than 1,000 penalty units or a term of imprisonment of not more than 4 years or to both.
You mingle something, but I'll allow you. Put your hands together. Of course, to a fine of not more than 1,000 penalty units, or a term of imprisonment of no more than how many years? 4. Or both. Your turn, Newmont. Now, you see, state what the manager of a mine is obliged to do where a court convicts a person who works in that mine for an offense against these regulations found in Regulation 513, Sub-Regulation 2 of the Minerals and Mining Regulations 2012 LI 2182.
The manager of a mine shall make sure.
Shall make sure there is a bear. Put your hands up. Shall make sure there is tintinabulation. He shall give notice of the conviction and the name and address of the person so convicted, together with details of the offense, to the Chief Inspector of Mines. You understand? The person's name It addresses details of the offense, the conviction, and the details of the offense to the Chief Inspector of Mines. That is the obligation here. Golden Star, under Regulation 513, Sub-Regulation 3A and B of the Minerals and Mining Health Safety Technical Regulation 2012, LI 2182. The Chief Inspector of Mines may do either of two things. State one.
The Chief Inspector of Mines may declare a person convicted of an offense to be disqualified from holding or obtaining any certificate for a period that the Chief Inspector of Mines considers necessary.
That's absolutely correct. The one which is denser. Now, you suspend or cancel the certificate of a person so convicted, for an offense under the rule. Cancel or suspend. You understand? But what you mentioned, declare the person convicted of the offense to be disqualified from holding or obtaining a certificate for a period that the Chief Inspector of Mines may deem appropriate, may consider necessary. Mining license obliged to do under warning signs as contained in Regulation 5141 of the Minerals and Mining Regulations. For action.
Or a holder of a small-scale mining license shall post abstracts of the provisions of this regulation, which concerns the safety or duties of persons employed in the mine, prominently at conspicuous places in the mine.
I do not think this will attract my sympathy. You see, because in the first place, he will ensure that a danger warning. Where is your danger warning? You did not provide the danger warning. First, it should be erected. Now, after erecting it, you must maintain it. The danger warning must be erected and maintained. And don't just go and erect and maintain, but in a position prescribed by these regulations or as required by the inspector. You understand? And that is why I think that you mingle it up with, I think you mentioned conspicuous place and so on. See, these things were worrying you in your mind. They're worrying you, don't worry. Adamus. Now, a warning sign, listen, broadly speaking, is a type of sign which indicates a potential hazard, obstacle, or condition requiring special attention. Indicate as required by Regulation 4514, Sub-Regulation 2A, B, and C of the Minerals and Mining Health, Safety, and Technical Regulations 2012 LI 2182. What a warning sign should be. What should a warning sign be?
Okay, a danger warning sign shall be as set out in Form 38 of the first schedule, or as approved by the inspector, shall be capable of being understood by each employee working in the mine, and shall not conflict with any other sign prescribed by these regulations.
It was a rhapsody. A rhapsody of, I set out in the first schedule of Form 38, or as approved by an inspector, be capable of being understood by the employee, each employee. They must be capable of being understood, and they should not conflict with any other sign prescribed by these regulations or by any other law. They should not conflict. You understand? So, Adamus, you are there. Abosso, listen. A medical examination. Abosso, it's not Abosso, okay? Abosso, now listen. A medical examination, according to the World Health Organization, records, generally refers to a clinical evaluation of a person's health status. According to Regulation 512, Sub-Regulation 2 of the Minerals and Mining Health, Safety, and Technical Regulation 2012 LI 2182, an assessment under Sub-Regulation 1 shall be undertaken by a medical practitioner or by another appropriate person qualified to undertake the assessment. What should the assessment entail?
So the assessment shall have a regard to the state and the nature of the work carried out by the employee in the mine. The assessment shall have a regard to the state.
2 out of 3, ladies and gentlemen. 2 out of 3, ladies and gentlemen. It will have regard, you understand, as you rightly said, to the type of work to be undertaken by the employee. And then, in addition, the level of fitness required to conduct that work safely. You understand? So the type of work safely. Now, Newmont. Now, as regards cost complications on the medical examinations, costs, what is the burden on the manager of a mine or a holder of a small-scale mining license according to Regulation 5123 of the Minerals and Mining Health, Safety and Technical Regulations, 2012 LI 2182. Cost implication. What is the burden?
So the manager shall provide the materials that will be used in performing the medical assessment on the employee of the small-scale mine.
So you should go and procure the bandages and the, what do you call it? What are the equipment here in the medical area? He would not do that. His duty is to bear the costs. He will pay. He will bear the cost of each medical examination, the medical examination conducted on the employee. And additionally, he should not directly or indirectly pass this cost, you understand, to the employee. The examination, the medical examination, he should pay. If he does not pay, he should also not, whether directly or indirectly, by some jiggery-pokery method, pass the cost to the employee. It is his sole responsibility. We're back to you, Golden Star. Expiration, according to the Cambridge English Dictionary, is the end of a period of time during which an agreement or official document can be used. Now, when within the framework of Regulation 512 of Sub-Regulation 4A, B, and C of the Minerals and Mining Health, Safety and Technical Regulations, 2012 LI 2182. The manager of a mine or holder of a small-scale mining license shall ensure that the medical record of each employee is maintained for a certain period. State the period as captured in the quoted sub-regulations.
It's maintained for a period of 10 years from the date of that particular medical examination, 6 years from the date that employee ceases to work in a mine until the closure of the mine, whichever occurs earlier.
Let's actually close the quiz master. The quiz master's reaction. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Until the closure of the quiz master's commentary. 10 years from the date of the particular medical exam, 10 years. Or 6 years from the date of the employee, the date the employee stops work. From the date he stops work. And in any case, until the closure of the mine, whichever of them would occur earlier. You understand? Now, Zijin, the manager of a mine or a holder of a small-scale mining license shall, according to Regulation 512, Sub-Regulation 5A, B, and of the Minerals and Mining Health, Safety and Technical Regulations, 2012 LI 2182, he shall ensure that the results of any medical examination is explained to the employee who undertook the examination. What else should the manager do in this regard?
It shall again ensure that the examinations to be performed on the employee are explained to the employee. The examination to be...
What he's supposed to do is that he will ensure that he is given a copy. He's given a copy of the medical examination, which is carried out. He's given a copy of the employee's medical examination. Supply him what you have. You understand? Procured from your examination. Give him a copy. Now, one critical thing a manager or holder of a small-scale mining license should ensure under Regulation 5211 and 2 on fire hazards, fire hazard areas of the Minerals and Mining Health Safety Technical Regulations, LI 2182, is that a fire hazard area is identified by a suitable warning sign. State the other prohibition. You see, the hazard is identified by a suitable warning sign. What is the other prohibition?
So that a person does not enter or smoke any cigarette or other substance within a fire hazard area.
You want cigarettes? You see, I'll give you 1 out of 3. I'll give you 1 out of 3. Yours was casting a safety net, you see. You understand? Because the cigarette is a substance that generates heat. I agree. You understand? So for your cigarettes, issue, I'll give you 1. But you see, the person shall not take, for example, a naked flame. But then you brought yours. Or a substance that generates heat in a fire hazard area. Unless special precautions are taken and are written instructions issued against the what? The naked flame and the heat-generating substances. Yours was the heat-generating, which you spoke about. But I'll give you only 1 out of 3. 1 out of 3. Now, the manager of a mine is obliged to advise each person working in the mine underground where flammable gas occurs frequently according to Regulation 522 of Sub-Regulation 2A and B of the Minerals and Mining Health Safety and Technical Regulations, LI 2182. It provides 2 main things. Do you know them? Provide both.
So,
it's one community.
So persons are warned of the possibility of a fire hazard, and then precautions are taken to ensure the persons are safely they are protected from the fire hazard area.
You don't mind the bell. Or you think in this regard the bell does not work? The first one, what did you say? You said what?
Persons are warned of the possibility
of
a fire hazard. The persons are warned of the possibility.
The law does not say anything like that. It talks about the probability of encountering a flow of flammable gas and the measures and procedures which should be taken or followed under Sub-Regulation 1. Newmont. Now, what is the manager of a mine or a holder of a small-scale mining license obliged to ensure when it comes to fund houses within the framework of Regulation 520 of the Minerals and Mining Health Safety and Technical Regulations, LI 2182? The last question here. Oh, Newmont? No response. You see, he will ensure that the structure housing a fund, which is used in connection with the ventilation system for an underground mine, that one, the fund, used in the construction, It is constructed with non-combustible material. The structure housing the fan, which is used in connection with the ventilation system in the mine, should be constructed. That structure should be constructed with non-combustible material. Ladies and gentlemen, end of the first round of the competition.
Adamus Resources Limited is a gold mine in the Nsima area of the western region of Ghana. It is approximately 300 kilometers southwest by road from the capital city Accra and 80 kilometers west by road from the port of Takoradi. Our values are integrity, teamwork, duty of care, commitment and accountability, and lastly, respect and fairness. Adamus Resources Limited is committed to the creation and maintenance of a safe and healthy environment for all who are affected by our business operation, thus ensuring environmentally and socially responsible mining. Our workforce is our biggest asset. With competent and well-motivated employees, we continually improve on our processes while we grow our assets through accelerated programs. Our labor strength boasts over 60% of employees from host communities. We empower our women in mining and in our host communities. Our commitment to social license transcends beyond just a friendly relationship with our communities, including but not limited to the establishment of an educational scholarship scheme, drilling of mechanized boreholes, donations, and development of various types of infrastructure. Adamus Resources Limited has grown over the past 12 years and continues to deliver growth in a safe manner.
At the end of the first round of the competition, Newmont Ahafo North Mine had no point. Zijin Golden Ridge Limited had 2 points. Adamus Resources Limited came with 4 points. Abosso Goldfields Limited has 5 points. And in the lead as at now is Golden Star Wassa Limited with 9 points.
Golden Star Pro Tempore is in the lead in this competition. Let's see how things unravel in the remaining portions of the competition. The second stanza. Round 2, question 1. Golden Star. Golden, listen, one of the provisions under Regulation 33, Sub-Regulation 1 and 2 of the Minerals and Mining Regulation 2012 LI 2177 is that a person who holds an operating license under Regulation 22 to 27 may apply for a permit as set out in Form P in the second schedule to transport a specific type and amount of explosives. Now, what should the person also transport? What should the person who transports explosives under Form P do in this regard?
A person who transports explosives under a Form P permit shall give notice to the Chief Inspector of Mines in writing of the type and quantities of explosives to be transported at least 48 hours before the explosives are transported.
You spoke as if you were the explosives yourself. For a moment, I thought there was going to be an explosion here. So rapid. He shall give notice to the Chief Inspector of Mines about the type and the quantity, the amount to be transported at least 48 hours before the explosives are so transported. 48 hours, 2 days. Now, Zijin, according to Regulation 39, Sub-Regulation 1A and B of the Minerals and Mining Regulations LI 2177, a manufacturer, dealer, or an applicant for classification of products which contains an explosive substance shall provide adequate information according to 2 specific issues. You understand? They will provide adequate information regarding 2 specific issues. Can you provide these 2 adequate information? According to Regulation 39 or Sub-Regulation 1A and B of 2177, manufacturer, dealer, or applicant for classification of products which contains, you understand, an explosive substance, he will provide information. 2 specific issues. What are they? What information?
We shall provide adequate information of the name of the product, and also
1 out of 3. It is true. You must provide the name. The name is the primary and most important thing. But apart from the name, you must provide the characteristics. You understand? Not the name, but what that thing can do. The characteristics of the substances in the product. And moreover, you know, the results of tests which have been done on the product. It's only 1 out of 3. Adamus, one significant thing an inspector may do under import and export control, as captured in Regulation 36, Sub-Regulation 1AB of LI 2177, is to remove samples of explosives for the purpose of conducting analysis or tests to determine the quality of the explosives. What else might the inspector do in this regard?
The inspector may open and inspect a consignment of explosives, whether it is in a container or not, at a place and time to be determined by the inspector.
This is correct. The inspector would open and inspect the consignment of explosives, whether they are in a container or not. You understand? So if it is not in a container, you don't open. You will inspect. And it will be at a place and time which he will appoint. Abosso, what should an inspector do under Regulation 36, Sub-Regulation 2 of the Minerals and Mining Regulations 2177, when he reasonably suspects that a consignment of explosives does not comply with these regulations? It does not comply.
So when he suspects that...
When he suspects
that a consignment of explosives does not comply with these regulations, the inspector may order the explosives to be disposed of in a manner prescribed by the inspector, and then also not use the explosives.
I don't think so. You say he should dispose of?
He shall dispose the...
He will prohibit, stop that consignment from being used until you have demonstrated to his satisfaction that the products are safe for use. Stop and show me why. You understand? Show me that they're safe for usage. Newmont, subject to sub-regulation 2 under regulation 37 of the Minerals and Mining Regulations 2012, LI 2177, these regulations shall not be continued to prevent a holder of an operating license for buying and using explosives from using explosives to that holder's workmen for blasting operations confined to the works controlled by the license holder. But listen. What should a holder of an operating license for buying and using explosives do under sub-regulation 2? What should a holder of an operating license for buying and using explosives do under sub-regulation 2? What should he do?
So a person licensed to use an explosives shall keep the quantities and then the number of explosives used in a particular
keep
time.
The quantities in his pocket so that he determines his own logbook. You understand? And on each day, you will enter the amount and the type of explosives which are being used. Which have been issued by the holder to the workmen. So you have a book, you record on every day the type of explosives which are being issued to the holder, by the holder to the workmen for that particular day. It's a book. Golden Star, Regulation 140. 3 of the Minerals and Mining Explosives Regulations, LI 2177, it states that the person in charge of a magazine shall ensure that the process of repair work, magazine installations, including structures, mounds, fences, access, and drainage, are kept in good order, and where welding, oxy-cutting, or an activity likely to generate heat, sparks, or friction is to be carried out on the outside of an existing magazine, certain precautions must be observed. Must be observed. And I'm even curious about the word must. Must be observed. But you mentioned 2. I have 4 on the list. So minus 50%. Mention 2.
The repair is done under a hot work permit, which is in accordance with Regulation 55.
Hey, take it easy.
The repair
is done
under a hot work permit, which is in accordance with Regulation 55. Before the repair work starts, the magazine is examined and declared safe for the repair works to proceed.
And I declare you that you have proceeded absolutely well. You have proceeded perfectly well. You have proceeded to excellence. Before the repair work starts, the magazine is examined and declared safe for the repair work to start. The repair work is done under hot work permit, which is in accordance with Regulation 55. The internal timber lining of the magazine is removed to expose the internal surface of the wall to be affected by the heat and to protect the internal lining from sparks and fire. And the contents of the magazine is removed and stored in a safe place away from the repair activity. Adamus. This is Adamus? Zijin. Zijin. What does repair work include according to Regulation 142 of LI 2177? What does repair work, what does it include?
The repair work includes installation consisting together with surrounding. First you said, but it's what? It consists of installation consisting of
1 out of 3. You understand? It includes installations. You understand? But you failed to mention the others. And it must consist of, among other things, other structures, the mounds, the fences. If you had mentioned one of them, I would have given you. The mounds, the fences, access, and drainage. So it's not just installation. Simplicity. 1 out of 3. Adamus, the Chief Inspector of Mines, or another officer appointed for that purpose by the Chief Inspector according to Regulation 142 Sub-Regulation 1, may order the destruction of any explosives found in the magazine, which, in their opinion, has become unfit for use. What else should the Chief Inspector or officer appointed for the purpose do of LI 2177?
When the Chief Inspector or another inspector authorized by the Chief Inspector for this purpose orders the destruction of an explosive found in Sub-Regulation 1, the blastman or the explosive shall be destroyed immediately, and compensation is not payable for the destruction. The explosives.
Take it easy. Start, please. I'll give you time. Okay. But start one by one.
Where the Chief Inspector or another person appointed for that purpose by the Chief Inspector orders for the destruction of an explosive. The person responsible for the explosive shall destroy the explosives immediately, and compensation is not payable for the destruction. The blastman shall destroy the explosives immediately, and compensation is not payable for the destruction.
But you see, you failed to mention the fact that the Chief Inspector shall order the destruction. You understand? You mentioned the others. The explosive shall immediately be destroyed by a blastman, that's correct, and the compensation should not be paid. 2 out of 3. You did not specifically mention that the Chief Inspector shall order the destruction of the explosives. Shall order the destruction.
That was the first. The second one is I said.
If you actually mention the chief, sometimes you must be audible. Let me hear you. The Chief Inspector shall order the destruction once, and then the explosive shall immediately be destroyed by the blastman, and no compensation will be paid. Okay, give him the 3 out of 3. You must. I suppose. Did you hear him? Did you hear him? Those sitting beside you. Now, when it comes to, yes, so 3 out of 3. Abosso, when it comes to plans to be approved as spelled out in Regulation 1453 of the Minerals and Mining Explosive Regulations 2012 LI 2177, the application shall be in writing in the form determined by the Commission and be accompanied with a statement that specifies the types of explosives. When it comes to plans to be approved as spelled out in Regulation 1453 of the Minerals and Mining Regulations 2177, the application shall be in writing and in the form determined by the Commission to be accompanied with a statement that specifies the types of explosives What else should the application entail according to sub-regulation 3A? And this is magnanimity.
So the plan should also state it shall specify the site specifications, and then with an explanation of the site plans, specifications, and activities to be carried out.
We should give you more time. So this one was taken at a distant tangent. You see, the quantity of the type of explosives to be stored in the magazine, it must be relate to the quantity of each type of explosives to be stored. One, and the residential address of the proposed sites of the magazine, the residential address of the site of the magazine, and the quantity of each type of explosives to be stored in the magazine. The quantity to be stored and where the address of the magazine itself. Newmont. One of the concerns under notice of changes, which the Commission shall be giving notice about, according to Regulation 29 of LI 2177, is a change of ownership. What change of ownership is the first? Can you declare the rest? One of the contents, notices of change, which the Commission shall be given notice about, according to Regulation 29, is a change of ownership. One, change of ownership. What are the rest?
A change of address of the business. And then also a change of a manager. And the chief inspector shall be notified at least 1 month before the change.
You declared, you understand, I don't know why you are bringing in the chief inspector to do the rest of the work. You understand? The change of address is correct. It's correct. You understand? A change of address. And then you mentioned a change of manager, which is also correct to a degree. The law talks about an appointment of a new manager. That's a change. That's the introduction of a new manager. That's correct. You understand? But apart from that, there are also the manager or explosives manager. It's not just a new manager, but explosives manager. We're dealing with LI 2177. So the explosives manager, at least 1 month before the change becomes effective. So these particulars were absent. And furthermore, there should have been a change of name, 2 out of 3. And of the second standard.
Adamus Resources Limited is a gold mine in the Nzima area of the western region of Ghana. It is approximately 300 kilometers southwest by road from the capital city Accra and 80 kilometers west by road from the port of Takoradi. Our values are integrity, teamwork, duty of care, commitment and accountability, and lastly, respect and fairness. Adamus Resources Limited is committed to the creation and maintenance of a safe and healthy environment for all who are affected by our business operation, thus ensuring environmentally and socially responsible mining. Our workforce is our biggest asset. With competent and well-motivated employees, we continually improve on our processes while we grow our assets through accelerated programs. Our labor strength boasts over 60% of employees from host communities. We empower our women in mining and in our host communities. Our commitment to social license transcends beyond just a friendly relationship with our communities, including but not limited to the establishment of an educational scholarship scheme, drilling of mechanized boreholes, donations, and development of various types of infrastructure. Adamus Resources Limited has grown over the past 12 years and continues to deliver growth in a safe manner.
At the end of the second round of the competition, Newmont Ahafo North Mine has 2 points. Zijin Golden Ridge Limited has 4 points. Abosso Goldfields Limited has 5 points. Adamus Resources Limited came with 10 points. And still in the lead is Golden Star Wassa Limited with 15 points.
Yes, Golden Star with an enormous 15 points. The colossal whopping 15 points. Whether they'll be coasting to victory at the end of the competition, time will tell. This is the final portion of the exercise. The decision of that death resides here. But ladies and gentlemen, I must say that there have been some players who have been introduced from the bench, and they need to introduce themselves. Zijin.
Joe James Yanane, Zijin Golden Ridge Limited.
And
Nathaniel Champonse, Adamus Resources Limited.
Yes. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen.
Priscilla Taylor, Abosso Goldfields Limited.
Abosso. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final portion of the competition. It has to do with first thing, and I will be very particular about details. There's precise answers to the questions. The questions could matter of propound are to be delivered to the satisfaction of the quiz master. Round 3, question 1, Golden Star. Usually, a sin from a bee, wasp or honest, is painful rather than dangerous. Now, you would state what is initially likely to happen to a casualty who suffers from a sting from a bee, a wasp, or a hornet. What is likely to happen?
An initial sharp pain is followed by redness, mild swelling, redness, and soreness.
An initial what?
Sharp pain is followed by mild swelling, redness, and soreness.
That's correct. So there's an initial sharp pain followed by the swelling, mild one, redness, soreness will follow. Zijin. Now, ticks, you see, they are tiny spider-like creatures found in grass or woodlands. Now, they attach themselves to passing animals, including humans, and they bite into the skin to suck blood. But tell me, what two key things do you think as a first aider? What two key things do you, as a first aider, do when a tick bites a casualty? What do you do? What do you do? Tick bites a casualty.
Okay, so you move them out gently with tweezers in order not to...
Move them what?
You move the tick out gently with tweezers in order not to regurgitate infection fluids into the body.
You finished? The bell was too quick for you. 10 seconds. 2 out of 3. Put it. You understand? You use the tweezers, gently pull out, the head, as still with a steady and even pressure. Gently. The cruciality of the word is gentle. A gentle pull out. You understand? But you fail to add the second column, which is you save the tick for identification. You place it in a sealed plastic bag, you give it to the casualty, and you ask the casualty to seek medical help. You tell him to take the tick along with him when he's going to do the consultation on the tick bites. You understand? So that column was not provided. 2 out of 3. Your turn, Adamus. How do you dispose of sharp objects, such as needles?
So you place them in a yellow box, and then they are labeled as sharp box. Or if you don't have the label box, you can place them in a jar with a screw top, and then dispose them off safely.
Cool, correct. Yes. So you have come from the bench to score a goal. Abosso. So you put them in a sharp, what do you call it? A plastic container. It is called a sharp box. That's the name. Or a screw, a jar with a screw. Put it in and dispose it of safely. Bosso, listen. Abosso. Why is it important to you as a first aider to consider the age and appearance of a casualty when you talk to them?
This is because different people require different responses.
Absolutely. Another goal by a player from the bench. Newmont for finality. Newmont. When the heart stops, a cardiac arrest would be said to have occurred. The most common cause is an abnormal rhythm of the heart, known as ventricular fibrillation. Now, this abnormal rhythm can occur when the heart muscle is damaged as a result of a heart attack, or when insufficient oxygen reaches the heart. AED can be used on adults and children over age of 1 year to correct the heart rhythm by giving an electric shock. AED, ladies and gentlemen, is an acronym. What does it stand for? I've come from far away.
Automated.
Sorry? There is an electronic shock which has been introduced into your campaign for accession. There is an absolute electronic shock which cancels the integrity of your answer. Automated external. So you electrocuted yourself. Automated external defibrillator. End of the competition.
Adamus Resources Limited is a gold mine in the Nzima area of the western region of Ghana. It is approximately 300 kilometers southwest by road from the capital city Accra and 80 kilometers west by road from the port of Takoradi. Our values are integrity, teamwork, duty of care, commitment and accountability, and lastly, respect and fairness. Adamus Resources Limited is committed to the creation and maintenance of a safe and healthy environment for all who are affected by our business operation, thus ensuring environmentally and socially responsible mining. Our workforce is our biggest asset. With competent and well-motivated employees, we continually improve on our processes while we grow our assets through accelerated programs. Our labor strength boasts over 60% of employees from host communities. We empower our women in mining and in our host communities. Our commitment to social license transcends beyond just a friendly relationship with our communities, including but not limited to the establishment of an educational scholarship scheme, drilling of mechanized boreholes, donations, and development of various types of infrastructure. Adamus Resources Limited has grown over the past 12 years and continues to deliver growth in a safe manner. Adamus Resources Limited is a gold mine in the Nzima area of the western region of Ghana. It is approximately 300 kilometers southwest by road from the capital city Accra and 80 kilometers west by road from the port of Takoradi. Our values are integrity, teamwork, duty of care, commitment and accountability, and lastly, respect and fairness. Adamus Resources Limited is committed to the creation and maintenance of a safe and healthy environment for all who are affected by our business operation, thus ensuring environmentally and socially responsible mining. Our workforce is our biggest asset. With competent and well-motivated employees, we continually improve on our processes while we grow our assets through accelerated programs. Our labor, we empower our women in mining and in our host communities. Our commitment to social license transcends beyond just a friendly relationship with our communities, including but not limited to the establishment of an educational scholarship scheme, drilling of mechanized boreholes, donations, and development of various types of infrastructure. Adamus Resources Limited has grown over the past 12 years and continues to deliver growth in a safe manner.
Yeah, I was trembling.
We've come to the
Yeah,
end
we
of
might-
this
yeah.
assignment. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll descend quickly to the presentation of prizes. We invite the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Engineer Dr. Kenneth Achigbe, to do the presentation of the prizes. Welcome, Engineer Chief of Executive Officer Dr. Kenneth Achigbe. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll start from the bottom, and I would implore you to put your hands together and greet the the group that came first in this competition. Welcome, Newmont Ahafo, North Mine, Ajebia Sedu, and Anwar Sadat Al Hassan, and they take away a NOSCO 200-liter bottom freezer fridge. Ladies and gentlemen, we now will invite for the presentation again of the the group that came fourth in this competition, Gideon Kwashi Priscilla Arabatela, Abosso Goldfields Limited. 57 points, and they take away the same thing, NASCO 200-liter bottom freezer fridge, presented by the Chief Executive Officer. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll tackle the group that came third in this competition. They had 59 points to their credit, ladies and gentlemen, and they were led by Joel Jemfia Nani and Patience Gatogo. Ewenam Zijin Golden Ridge Limited. And they take a 50-inch smart television Samsung, 50-inch smart television Samsung. Ladies and gentlemen, the group that came second in this competition, Daniel Amponsasaki, Nathaniel Champong, or say, Adamus Resources. Adamus Resources. 50-inch smart television Samsung. And, ladies and gentlemen, the most prominent of all the prizes, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the King's Prize. Ladies and gentlemen, the contestant that won this prize, obviously, this is this combination of Benedict Nyael, Kabong, Ponu, and Ebenezer Nyano Mensa. Golden Star Wassa Limited. Golden Star Wassa Limited. Golden Star. And their prize is exceptional. Their prize is an enhancement of the other prizes. 50-inch UHD 4K smart television Samsung. Another round of applause for these persons who we met triumphant. The Lord bless you and keep you. Lord, let his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon all of you and grant you peace. On this note, and until the same time next week, when we bring you questions from archaeology, zoology, on behalf of my producer, Francis Mensah, Kingsla Boaji, Francis Cesaro, Collins Mensah, Samuel Logo, Kingsla Tahinkra, Felix Zabebia, De Sedna Mensah, John Pobi, Edward Amwakun, David Tedegu, and Kanjaga Lagatin. This has been your quiz master, Nana Ferieboa, asking you here, and those out there, it is what do